The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Y'all started from PBS Kids, what you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriyanna and welcome back to... Oh my god, why am I not focused? Okay, as I was saying, welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Nobody is worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now today, I just really want to get here and talk about the subject of fan entitlement because this is what happened. Amphibia, it's literally been, I think, 1 week since the show has ended. The creator has established that this show was a 3-parter, which means 3 seasons, and then that's it. That's done. They basically pulled Gravity Falls on everyone. It was like, yeah, we're gonna cut it short. We're gonna cut it where we want to because this is where we feel where the story ends, and we want to stop it here and move on with something else. And then when, oh my god, camera, stop moving. But then when we have situations like this where the creators decide on their own when they want to end the show, you will have people complain and beg and plead up and down because they want another part added on. And do y'all not seem to realize how fucking rude that is? How would you feel if you made something that ended and people were all up your ass telling you to continue it? Like, sometimes I feel like people don't seem to understand that the people behind their favorite works and such like that, because it's not just with like published works. I see this shit happen all the time too with online creators. People feel extremely entitled to the work that they enjoy and they feel like something needs to be changed or something needs to be added on and whatever the fuck. But we're gonna get there in a minute. Now, today we are going to be talking about fan entitlement, as the title says, and what it is, why it needs to stop, and if this is you, what you can do to do better about it. So, according to fanlore.com, fan entitlement refers to works or actions by a fan that implies or sometimes even outright state that the creators of the canon and other fans owe the fans something. With canon, it generally refers to demands that the creators follow the fans' preferences of their ongoing works, or makes works of God comments supporting the fans' position, or retracts comments denying that position. With fan works, common forms of entitlement include demanding that the work in progress be updated, insisting that fanfiction endings be changed, or that the ongoing fic focus on a different direction, requesting moderators change the rules of a community to suit their preferences, authors demand a certain level of feedback before another chapter or work in progress is posted, etc. Now here's another piece of this that I do want to read to you guys. Let us return to the idea of fan entitlement. As a fan, what exactly are we entitled to form? Okay, now here's another part of this article that I do want to read to you guys. So yeah, listen up. Let's return to the idea of fan entitlement. As a fan, what exactly are we entitled to from others of the fandom? Well, in my opinion, we are entitled to be respected, to be appreciated of our contributions, to be educated on we are being ignorant, and to be gently corrected when we are wrong. Beyond that, I don't think we are entitled to anything else. And that is absolutely correct. I don't understand fan entitlement. People feel as if they are entitled to a piece of work or media, whether this be an independent creator like a person that creates fan art or writes fan fiction or has a web series and all of that jazz. People tend to think that because they are, supporting this show, supporting this kind of art, supporting the artist. They've donated to the artist before. They've bought things from the artist. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this now. These people don't owe you anything. Let's say if you bought something for them. The only thing that they owe you is that thing that you bought. That's all it. That's it. That is it whatsoever. A lot of these people do not owe you their creativity. A lot of fans, we were talking about the subject because I mentioned this in my last video that I just made, but fandom honestly has getting worse, and I feel like it has so much to do with the fact that these people act as if these creators are owing them something. Like, let's say that you found a piece of media that really helped you get through a horrible, rough time in your life. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to that subject. But just because that piece of media helped you, that doesn't mean that the author has to give you anything. They don't whatsoever, okay? If you're so sad about Amphibian ending, go write a fan fiction, go read a fan fiction, and then if you don't want to go and write that fic yourself, you cannot sit here and tell other people what to fucking write. A lot of it just feels extremely selfish because yes, this piece of media helped you get through a rough stage in your life, but that don't got nothing to do with nobody else. That don't even got shit to do with the person that made it, okay? Thank you for engaging in their art and being supportive and being appreciative to them. But at the end of the day, you're just still a fan. You're just a fan of this piece of work. You're not going to be able to get your way with it. Just because this helped you doesn't mean you own it. And so many people in fandom feel as if they own these pieces of media that are literally helping them get through life. And that is not a good thing. Now, I'm going to read you guys a piece of this article called What the Hell is Wrong with Fans, written by Peter David. His name's Lukey, kind of like Pete Davidson. But I'm going to sit here and read you guys a piece of it right now. I'm going to link it down below too if you guys are interested in that as well. I'm afraid that I am going to come across like a very cranky fan sitting in my rocking chair complaining about the kids running around on my lawn. Nevertheless, recent instances of fan entitlement are starting to get on my nerves. I'm not talking about previous discussion situations such as fans coming up with all these excuses for stealing material and claiming that it's okay to do so. Those are entertaining as always, but not really big on my mind at the moment. No, I'm thinking about the current fans of Once Upon a Time who are not only convinced that their views are not being represented in the show, but are going after such blameless targets of the actors, targeting them with hostile tweets and such, and you thought it was bad when villainous and soap operas couldn't go food shopping without being harassed by customers. That right there literally kind of sums up how so many people, which including myself, because I get this too, but so many people that create art, this is how so many of us feel. Because when we complain about people telling us what to do with our work and these people are fans, it becomes a bit frustrating, but we don't want to feel as if we're being ungrateful because of the support that they're giving us. No, we are grateful. We are extremely thankful for the fact that you are interested in engaging in our art, but it comes to a certain extent where you feel as if this is your space. Because as he used the analogy, I feel like I'm yelling at kids running around on my lawn. This is that creator's thing. Whatever they created is theirs, and you literally are a guest engaging into this. You can come in whenever you want, but when you overstep your boundaries, as in running around on someone else's lawn that is not your property, it's rude. Now, there's another piece in here that I want to read to you guys, and then I'm going to be back with my commentary on it, because this shit, honestly, I'm screaming because I understand this person's rage. I'm not sure when or where this fandom mentality developed. I'm not sure this sense of entitlement has swelled into such proportions that fans feel the need to write entire essays about how various programs or writers or whom are letting them down by failing to represent their views. It may well be different on the rise because of internet. Because of Once Upon a Time, fans will simply engage in vacuum. But now writers and producers not only see what they're saying but respond to it, but sometimes in self-defense. It's a shame that this sort of fan mentality has brought matters into the situation, and I completely understand where they're coming from, because yes, it is important to have better diversity in race and LGBTQ representation and all that jazz within media. I do get what he's talking about when it comes to fan entitlement, when it comes to certain kinds of representation and whatnot, but it does become a problem where it's just like, hey, this has a bit of a diversity issue, please take into account of that. That's one thing, but then it's another trying to tell the television show what exactly they need to put in. You need to put this and that and the third in this show. You need to put these two characters together, and that's the one that bothers me the most when it comes to fandom because so many of them are entitled to their favorite ships being canon. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's a ship. It's a ship. You can ship it as much as you want, but if that's not what the creator wants to do in the end, they don't have to. They don't have to put those two characters together if they don't want to. Like when it comes to Descendants, and I personally wouldn't been to end up with Evie. I thought him and Evie were a good match for each other, but he ended up marrying Mal instead. And as much as I don't like that decision, at the end of the day, I don't own Descendants. This is not my property. If I want to have my own alternative universe when Ben and Evie are happily together and Mal is out of the picture, I can do that. I can go write a fan fiction. I can go make a fan series. I can go engage in BB fan art. Fans don't seem to realize that when it comes to the media that they're engaging in and there's a favorite ship that they have that did not become canon, or it looks as if it's not going to become canon at any point, they don't seem to understand that this is the reason why fanon exists. That's the reason why fans can make content for the things they want. A lot of creators that are in charge of these properties, they enjoy fanning, okay? They enjoy fan fiction, they enjoy fan art and all of that jazz because it's nice to see other people's interpretations on their work. But there's a fine line with someone having their own interpretation of said work and them over here trying to tell the creator what exactly they should and should not have done. And this isn't over here trying to support people talking about how, oh, this person is excluding marginalized groups of people within their work. No, this has nothing to do with that because those kind of creators do need to be called out for, especially when it comes to creators that like to use Black culture within their media but don't want to have Black people within their space. That's why everybody drug Sam Levinson to hell and back when it comes to Euphoria, because he had so much of Black culture present within his media, but the one Black character that he had was extremely horribly written and he's written out the show now. And then they brought in another Black girl on the show who barely did much of anything, and as much as I like Bobby was not that great of a character. It's one thing to point out something has awful diversity and this and that and the third, especially when you are using someone's culture but not wanting to include them into your story, at least not including them into your story well. And then there's another going on about something that you felt as if the creator should have included and should have put it into this stuff, because there's this big ass issue when it comes to Miraculous Ladybug and it comes to fan entitlement, because that's so much of where this show's problems fall into is fan entitlement. And I have been in this position before, but I'm not anymore because I realized how silly it was of me to do this. But there's this one going arc within the fandom that so many people just feel as if they can change the creator's mind about, and that has to do with the Chloe redemption arc, the arc that I don't give a fuck about, mainly because I don't care about Chloe. The creator, Thomas Ash Cheeks, okay, we're gonna call him by his real name, Ashdrag, has made it clear that he does not want to redeem Chloe. And as much as people don't want to admit that, this is his show. Well, not his show anymore, but during his time on the series, if he didn't want to redeem Chloe, he didn't have to. Chloe was always introduced to the show as a really mean, nasty girl. And when her redemption arc was brought into the picture, I'm pretty sure he didn't really have much to say about that. But him, as the creator of the show, this is his. If he wanted to take that away from her, he could. It's honestly, people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but at the end of the day, we don't own Miraculous Ladybug. Miraculous Ladybug is not our series, and we can't really do much of anything about it. And if it upsets you so much about what is going on in the canon of this series, you can go and write a fan fiction. It's literally just that fucking simple, okay? A lot of people don't seem to understand that there's so many solutions when it comes to them not getting their way when it comes to certain kinds of media and such. Especially when it comes to the subject of Descendants. Like I said, I'm still pretty upset about the way the movies ended and all of that jazz, because I personally felt as if it was very lazy. And it's not even just like Descendants and Miraculous that have things in them that I don't agree with when it comes to what the creators of this show are doing. There's plenty of other things that I do enjoy as well that I feel like they could have gone in different directions with, because I used to be a really big fan of the first season of High School Musical, the series. I didn't really care too much to watch the second season because I heard it was ass cheeks. But here with the first season, there was so much in it that I didn't really like all that much, especially when it came to ships. Like, I don't like Ricky and Nene. I can't stand it. It's not my ship. I didn't like it, okay? In season 1, it wasn't good, and it's obvious that they shouldn't have been with each other. But the show literally kind of put them back together at the end of the season, and I just wasn't here for it. That's something about it that I didn't like. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and go off on the creator of High School Musical the series and the writers because they did something that I didn't enjoy. And the thing about it is that what they did, one thing that a lot of fans within series complain about is that it's not even stuff that's offensive. It's one thing if the show is doing some racist, homophobic, transphobic ass shit. It's one thing to call that out, but people literally are over here throwing fits about their favorite fictional characters not ending up with the person they wanted them to be with. And as much as you don't want to hear this, this is not your story. You can't tell people what to fucking do. A lot of people, there's a difference between asking a show to put this type of representation within it, and then there's another where you feel as if the show needs to have it in there simply because you're a fan. I feel like nowadays plenty of creators feel as if they are in this weird kind of bubble and such, I'd say. And it's not just people that are working in film and writing books and all of that. People that actually have published works, people that have works out here that are on network television and, you know, published books and whatever. I feel like so many of them, and just a lot of YouTube creators as well, a lot of them feel as if they're in this weird situation because they feel as if they go against their fans' wishes, that it's going to upset them, and they're not going to be engaged with the art anymore. Because I know a lot of creators were talking about how they were making lots of videos about things that they didn't want to make videos on, but simply because they knew the video was going to get views, they knew the video was going to go semi-viral, they knew the video was gonna give them attention, they knew that this was gonna help them pay their bills and support themselves. They felt like that they were obligated to do so because that is what their fans wanted to see. And a lot of these shows creators, they understand that. They be like, oh, we see that the audience wants these two type of characters put together, let's actually give the fans what they want and put them together and see how that goes. But also they're in a weird situation because they're like, do we really even want to do this? Because if we give the fans what they want, it may fuck up the story because this wasn't our intent. This isn't what we wanted to do. Especially when it comes to, like, you know, Avatar The Last Airbender and it came to Zuko and Katara, the Zutara ship. And I always shipped Zutara since I was a kid and such like that. And I didn't really care too much for the fact that she ended up with Aang in the end. But this is actually how the story was planned out. The story always was originated for her to end up with Aang and Zuko to end up with someone else. If they ended up putting Zuko and Katara together, that would have changed the direction of where the show went in. And we actually saw that something like this did happen when it came to Star and Marco in the Star versus the Forces of Evil series, and I hated that because they saw how so many fans wanted Star and Marco to be together. Because in the first season of the show, we saw that they had no romantic interest with each other. It was strictly platonic. But they saw that this is what their fans wanted, and they were like, let's go ahead and give it to them. Sorry. Because they wanted to give the fans what they wanted, they ended up fucking up their own story. They ended up fucking up their own writing. They messed up their own show to the point where they made Star and Marco both unbearable. I am not lying when I said I hated both of their asses in the end. Like, they were both irritating as shit, and I wanted nothing to do with either of them, okay? Star vs. the Forces of Evil is just a sad case of fan entitlement, in my opinion, because the creators and the people behind the show felt, oh my god, focus. The creators and the people behind the show felt as if they had to give the fans what they want in order for them to be engaged in their story and such, and they weren't being truthful to themselves and their story, and it just sucks because when people bring up Star versus the Forces of Evil, they're less likely to talk about the good with this show, and they're always going to sit here and talk about how horrible it got. And I am one of them. Like, season 1 of this show was so amazing. It was just nice, funny, zany fun. That's all it was. That's literally what the show was. It was like a fish out of water story, just a show about an alien girl trying to be normal within this space that is extremely foreign to her. And it literally shifted from that when they decided to give into making the show story driven and giving it a lore and such, and then also giving the ship that the fans wanted so bad to them. There are so many shows out here, I will go fucking tell you, where people think that their favorite ship is canon when it really isn't. It's because the fans like it so much. Like, I know it's Outer Banks. I never watched Outer Banks, but it's two people in the show, JJ and Pope. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I thought they were together because of the fandom for that show. When I see people talk about it, I thought JJ and Pope were together, and then I actually looked and I saw that they were not together, and I was like, see, that just goes to show you sometimes it just doesn't even fucking matter. People are gonna ship what they want to ship regardless of it's canon or not. But just because this is a hardcore ship for a series, it doesn't mean that the creator of said thing has to give you what you want. If they don't want that ship to be in game, they don't have to make it in game. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one was more of a relaxed video. I really did not plan to make this, but I just saw this shit at the last minute, and I was like, turn your camera on and get something done. Y'all should go stream Turn My Camera On by Spoon. It's a great song. But if you guys like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to know other ways you can support me, I have donation links down below. I also have a Patreon, and I also have merchandise. If you guys want to know a way that you can support me for free, it's just to follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARIYNNA. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.
'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate, just congratulate.
The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They come in